Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's REFSIX Weekly. I'm joined by my co-hosts as usual, Rimon and John. How are you guys doing?
Right.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Rimon, you excited for the Man U game tonight?
Definitely. I am. It's gonna be a 2-0 for United. So
Well,
it's
we'll
gonna
see.
be a big game. It's a good for us to come to be in the final. So we lost
Yeah,
in
you're not used
many
to it.
semifinals, right? So
Been a few years, so
yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And John, you managed to sneak into the Champions League places with Liverpool over the weekend.
Sneak in with third, clear as daylight.
Third, could have ended up in fifth or sixth, who knows? But yeah, you got there. Cool. So we'll go through some news as we always do. In Germany, the referee Manuel Graf retired. He turned 47 in September, and the Bundesliga states that their officials can't be over the age of 47. So he's had to unfortunately retire. What you may have seen in the news was after the game, Dortmund striker Erling Haaland actually swapped shirts with the officials. So pretty cool to see such interaction between players and officials, and obviously a great career, and good luck to him in his retirement. This week, the Euro referees for the Euro Championships got together to talk about a variety of different things, but mainly focusing on handball. So the laws of the game are come into effect from July the 1st, but in Euro 2020, they are going to be bringing some of those laws into, or they're going to be using officiating with those laws. So one of those is going to be handball and the changes around handball. And basically, the major one or the major change here is that if a player accidentally handles the ball and then passes to a teammate and the teammate scores, that will no longer be an infraction. So it's only if the striker themselves accidentally handles the ball and it goes in, or they handle the ball, controls the ball, and then plays the ball into the back of the net, that will be given as a handling offence. So some interesting stuff to see over the Euros, I'm sure, relating to handball. And then there was the announcement of the officials for all of the playoff games. So I'll quickly run through that. So the League Two playoff final will be refereed by Bobby Madley. So it's great to see him get a showpiece final after his season returning in the English Football League. His assistant referees will be Jeffrey Liddell and David Hunt, and fourth official Craig Hicks. The League One playoff final will be refereed by Tony Harrington, who actually just refereed the FA Trophy final. So pretty sure that he may be the one in line for the Premier League spot that's opened up. So congratulations to Tony on getting the playoff final in League One. Assistant referees for that game will be Ian Cooper and Wade Smith. And then the Australian official who moved over a couple of years ago now from Australia to England and refereeing in the Championship, Jared Gillett, or Gillett, I'm not sure how to say his name, is fourth official for that game. And then the Sky Bet Championship playoff final will be refereed by Chris Kavanagh, with Daniel Cook and Sean Massey Ellis on the lines, and David Coote as fourth officials. So congratulations to all of them. A reward for a great season, I'm sure, and good luck for the games this weekend. Cool. So Rimon, should we move on to our final ref watch in terms of at least the Premier League season? It's all over now, so we'll go through the last the incidents from the games over the weekend.
Yeah, let's do that. And again, these incidents again are some interesting ones. Gonna discuss them, and we're gonna start with a really good game. Bournemouth against Brentford. It's the second leg of the semi-final playoffs for Premier League. The first match ended 1-0 to Bournemouth. Referee at the game was Jared Gillett. I will pronounce it like that, Gillett. Yeah, I think we have to look it up and figure out how that's pronounced. So the incident at the minute 28, that's a long ball from Brentford's half, goes to the defender Mepham. I don't know, Mepham. How do you pronounce that as well? and so for some reason he thinks he have all the time in the world to handle the ball, and from nowhere the Brentford striker Bourmer takes the ball from him, and what we can see is, I'm not sure myself if it's a holding or he just falls on top of him, but the Brentford striker takes the ball from the Bournemouth defender and goes straight and as a counter attack along with the goalkeeper, until the defender from Bournemouth holds the striker, and the referee blows the whistle, gives a red card right away, Doxo, and what do you guys think about that? Right decision? Was it a holding or was it not a holding? How did you guys see it?
Yeah. John, do you want to go?
Yeah, I thought it was a fairly easy red card for Dogzo. I think he has held him. I think it's a holding offence. So I think that's pretty easy to give, to be quite honest. It looks like he knew he wasn't going to get there and just sort of like dived forward to grab whatever he could just to stop him getting forward. And he probably knew he was going to take a red card for the team, to be honest.
Yeah. This is one of those decisions that's game changing and season defining, right? In the sense that it was 1-0 to Bournemouth at the time, 2-0 on aggregate. I think it was only like 20-30 minutes into the game. And you have to be brave, referee, to know that what the decision you're about to give is going to have a big impact, and it did, right? The red card led to a comeback by Brentford, but it was easily the correct decision. It was probably one of the easiest decisions that you'll give for Dogzo.
There's no VAR.
There was no VAR, so they have to make, they have to go with their gut and have to have good teamwork. But pretty confident. Yeah, it was easy, right? The direction of play was towards the goal. The player had the control of the ball. There wasn't any covering defenders. And so, easy Dogzo, easy red.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. An easy red card. The only thing I couldn't see if it was a holding or he, but probably it was.
It looked to me like he almost tried to trip the player with his hand, right? Almost like that, and that's what led to it.
But the defender knew it was a red card, and there was no big reaction from him. So
he probably thought that he saved his team a goal there, and he thought 2-0 up on the tie that his team would be able to see it through. But fair play to Brentford, and they look good for the weekend ahead.
Yeah. Right. So next incident from the Premier League last round was Leicester against Spurs, Tottenham. So at minute 83, Leicester starts his counter attack. I think it was Iheanacho who had the ball, and it wasn't an accident. It was on purpose. Her wings tackled him, so they couldn't start their counter attack. The referee gave a yellow card. The referee was Anthony Taylor. He gave a yellow card for this for the decision. Probably a correct yellow card, but do you guys think he could do more? I mean, of course, we cannot give a red card on this one. It doesn't say anywhere in the notebook you can get a red card for tackling on your own half, right? But it was so obvious, and when I saw it, I was thinking, can't he do more than just giving a yellow card? I don't know how you saw it, Hassan.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen this one, but it reminds me a couple of years ago, Newcastle played Southampton, and Newcastle had a break, and Southampton made what you've described as a stopping and promising attack, right? But so blatant and so obvious, it wasn't even an attempt to play the ball or anything like that, right? But it feels wrong. It feels like it could be, it's almost cheating is probably not the right word, but it's kind of blurring the lines there. So I get that. But there's nothing in the laws that enable an official, unless they think it's violent conduct, to extend past a yellow card. John, you saw it, so
Yeah, that's why.
what did you?
Yeah, that's why I put this in here. I thought it was quite interesting because obviously it's delaying a promising attack, but it's so obvious and so deliberate. But there's nothing stopping that happening, if that makes sense. Like, is there potentially something we could do, to like penalize that more, like almost like the sin bin rule, where if it's that deliberate and that obvious, then there is a punishment to that because it's an easy yellow card to take, as you say, one for the team. But what can we do to prevent this? Because it is a form of getting one up over, and I know that is part of football, but it's sort of gamesmanship, isn't it? And how do we stop that? And is there a way that we can isolate it and say, okay, you've deliberately done this on purpose, it's delaying a promising attack, so do we then sin bin for delaying a promising attack? Or that's the question I do.
I actually would be a fan of a sin bin for stopping a promising attack. I think that is actually one thing that they could bring in, because they, like you said, take one for the team, right? It's such a horrible yellow card. It's an easy yellow card to pick up as a defending team, but as the attacking team, you just feel like you've just been kind of robbed of that opportunity, right? So the free kick doesn't make up for it. So yeah, I think that would be a really cool idea to look at, is stopping a promising attack 5-10 minutes off the pitch.
The problem is some teams, they build the game up by stopping the other team's attack, right? So we have seen a lot of teams obviously stops the opponent's attack. So if we have to, if one day it will be a sin bin for doing that, then I'll guess, not because I have something against Man City, but not the, but it's so obvious when they do it, and they're so good at it. They just destroy the opponent's game plan sometimes, because they always stops the attack just before it happens. So I definitely feel like we have to do something about it at one point. Whether if it's sin bin or not, I don't know, but somebody must have thought about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
No, I have no idea what the right answer is, but I don't think we see enough of them in a season to warrant a big law change. But it's interesting, definitely something to consider.
Yeah. Stay on the same game, same match. At the 4 minutes later, there was a goal for Tottenham. Bailey gets the ball, gives it to Son in the penalty field, penalty area. Son plays it to Kane. So one of the defender tackles, tries to tackle Kane, hits the ball, and the ball hits Kane's arm. And the play continues. Kane plays the ball back to Bale, and Bale scores. Of course, we have VAR on this one. It's a Premier League game. The referee goes out, watch it again, and says there's no handball. I don't know if you have seen it, John, or not, the situation, but let me know your opinion on it.
I'm going to say I think it should be a goal. There's a lot going on about it. As Hassan said earlier in the podcast, they just changed the law to make it clear. And there is from this year up until the 1st of July, there's a very grey area in terms of what is handball, what isn't when it comes to attacking. When it comes to defending, I think we've outlined it pretty well, especially on this podcast, about if your arm is raised. And I think they've clarified it again for this year. So in the laws, I think they're right to, he hasn't directly scored with his hand. He's actually gone wide as well. So you could say that he hasn't really gained an advantage. He's just done well to get it to Gareth Bale, who's unmarked at the edge of the box.
So this is an interesting one, because I don't think it should be given as handball, because it's accidental, right? Like I don't really like this handball for an attacker. Especially this one. The arm is really close to the body. But I was surprised that the goal was given. Actually, I think in law today that should have been disallowed, because it was a an attacking situation. There was an accidental handball that led to a goal. The laws have been changed, so that goal will stand next season like it did this year, but or this last weekend. But I actually think in law it should have been disallowed. That being said, I don't like the law, so I'm quite glad that the goal was able to stand. But a strange one there for me at least.
Yeah, well, first time I saw it, I thought definitely handball, but I think there was something in the law saying like 30% if your arm is 30% from your body or something. I don't know. But the important thing here is I think is that he didn't have control of the ball, and again he didn't gain any advantages. So yeah, I totally agree. It's the right decision. Yeah, and the goal was approved. So yeah. All right. Next one. So the next two is quite interesting. So it's Chelsea versus Aston Villa and Leeds versus West Bromwich. Both of the incidents are almost similar. I'll try to explain to you guys what happened, and let's see if we can agree on this or not. But the Chelsea and Aston Villa game, it was the end of the game at minute 89. The referee was Stuart Edwin. So as Azpilicueta tries to take, or he got the ball back from Grealish, and Grealish tackles Azpilicueta from behind. And at the minute he tackles Azpilicueta from behind, the referee blows the whistle for a free kick. But what we can see is Azpilicueta, how do you say it? Like he puts his arm out and hits Grealish in the face on purpose, as I saw it on the video. Referee blows the whistle. Without any doubt, he gives a red card. So before I move on to the Leeds West Bromwich game, let me just know what you guys think about it. Was it okay red card? How did you see it? Yeah, and we can take the next one.
Yeah, no, I think I didn't see it as a red card. The reason I didn't see it as a red card is as Azpilicueta makes the kind of movement towards Grealish, what you'll see is the palm was open, right? So that to me leads to it's not violent. If the fist was clenched, I would say actually, yeah, that's a weapon. It was an attack. It's violent conduct. The palm was open, which makes me think, okay, well, okay, unless he's really slapped him around the face, it was kind of a palm off, and therefore I think, a warning or a yellow card would suffice. It's now been actually rescinded, the red card, so the red card has been taken away. But what do you think, John?
I think it is a red card because the way that we've been told, from my opinion, from like a new referee to an old referee or an experienced referee, I was always assumed that it was if the player puts his hand anywhere near the face, or doesn't matter if it's like meant for, well, obviously it has some intent, but it doesn't matter if it's got speed or not. If it's heading towards his face and it hits him in the face, it's a red card. Because why should anyone's hand realistically be anywhere near somebody's face unless it's to either injure an opponent or try and get one on the opponent? And that's why I think it shouldn't have been rescinded, because obviously it's hit Grealish in the face. And I know it's palm up, and I do agree that it's not been used as a weapon, but his hand realistically shouldn't be anywhere near his face.
Okay. So at your level, if you saw that in a game, that's an easy red card for you.
Yeah, and I think for me it'd be fairly easy to sell. To be honest, I just be like, his hands up there, shouldn't be up there, and
yeah,
I feel like
and
it's
the same with you.
Well, as I saw it, so they were behind, right? And I feel like, and as because they were really busy restarting the game again. So for me, it felt like he wanted to push Grealish away so he could start the game and restart the game, and he hit the hit Grealish in the face, right? But it's a tough one because if there's no red card, is there yellow card? If he didn't get a free kick, because I remember a game where McTominay hit Son in the face, right? He even had the control of the ball, and he was trying. I don't know what he was trying to do with his arm, and he was sent off, right? So, but yeah, I don't know. For me, it was not a red card. There was a free kick for Spilicueta, and let's just move on. But maybe when Spilicueta went to the referee again to discuss with him, he said something like, "Listen, it was not on purpose, right? Because I wanted to restart the game, and he was in my way. I don't know. Could be explained. Maybe that's why they didn't give him the red card in the end. But so let's move on to Leeds West Bromwich game, because there was, I will not say 100% similar situation, but maybe 85. So the first minute, Liam Cooper strikes his arm at Furlong. Same situation. So this is interesting, because if you think he only got a yellow card and not a red card. So, and the referee was David Courtet. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but David Courtet, cool. So, John, red card in this situation?
Yeah, I think that one's worse than the first one. Right. I think he's gone in with speed there, and it's more like a thrust of the elbow as well, and it's up high again. Obviously, people are controversial if I decided to spin this round and say it was a yellow, but I feel like the second one, the West Brom game, was worse. And I get where the referee's coming from. It's hard to send somebody off after 22 seconds. But unfortunately, I feel like that is a red card for violent conduct.
But it shouldn't be hard. I mean, if the law says this is a red card, it's a red card, right? Even if it's 22 seconds or after 90 minutes, red card is a red card.
Yeah.
This is a I'm gonna let this attacker know I'm here today and he's gonna be dealing with me. I think this is a easy red card, a lot easier than the first one. The movement of the defender, it just looks completely different to the Azpilicueta one, where Azpilicueta is like, I just want to play football, I'm trying to get the ball down, get off me, let's play the game. To this one this is more violent, that it's the whole arm, the forearm has struck the player in the face, and the defender who's made the challenge has basically forgotten about the ball, stopped, looked, and thrust it into that player, right? So this, in my opinion, was much more worthy of a red card. And I didn't know it was 22 seconds into the game, so that's super interesting. I think it should have been a red, in my opinion.
It is interesting because, again, they looked at VAR, and I know probably they didn't. No, I don't think they. I don't remember.
This to me is I don't know if watching this back again from knowing the clear and obvious piece of VAR, right? I don't know if it's clear and obvious enough to say that this is a definite 100% should have been a red card. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Was it obvious or not?
Yeah,
it was obvious. I mean, that we can discuss that, right? But or not, but it was obvious. I'd rather say the Spilicueta one was not that obvious, but this one was obvious. You could clearly see what he wanted to do. So
yeah, fair enough. I think it's a red. So yeah, maybe in that case, VAR should have stepped in. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? All right. Cool. One more incident left to talk about. So it's the Newcastle Fulham game. The referee was Chris Kerner. 88 minutes played. It's a Newcastle throw-in. Played to Willock. Willock plays it to Richie, and Matt Ritchie goes down. Right. And here's an interesting thing, because Yeah, he goes down. The defender was Tete, I think his name was. He touched him from behind, and referee blows the whistle for penalty. So my question for you guys is: was there a penalty? If it was a penalty, then for what? And if it wasn't, why did he give it then?
I think it's a penalty. I'm a Newcastle fan, so I'm biased. But look, you've got to understand, I think, a little bit of the elements of the players, right? Matt Ritchie is through on goal, about to have an unopposed strike on goal, and he feels a slight clip on his, I think, left boot as he was about to play the ball. So on the video, it looks like there's minimal contact, but we've spoken about in the past, just because there's minimal contact, that little bit, based on the speed, based on what you're about to do, whether you're kicking the ball or not, that contact can interrupt you and it can trip you up. So I thought it was a penalty. And it was just a careless tackle. I don't think it wasn't Dogzo because there was enough covering defenders, so that's why there was no card. Yeah, for me, penalty. John?
Yeah, I agree. I think if you look at it a lot, and the referee, I'm pretty sure, spotted it in real time. As Matt Ritchie looks to pull the trigger, there's contact there, and then Matt Ritchie goes and sort of like stubs his foot on the floor and then goes over. So obviously there's no big contact there, but that's where the contact is as the foot's coming back. So I think it's a great decision, and yeah, it's an easy pen. Matt Ritchie's at a fairly tight angle, so you can rule out Dogso. It's not a reckless tackle, so you can rule out yellow, so you can just go down as a careless tackle, and that's I think it's a great decision.
Yeah.
Raymond doesn't.
No, Rimon doesn't.
Well, to be honest, when I looked at it, I just saw that Tete didn't do anything. Like I saw, for me, it was Matrici who seek the penalty. He put his foot down back, so he hit Tete and he fell down. So for me, I think the attacker seeked it more than the defender did something, and that's why I wouldn't have given it a penalty. But it goes so fast, and I think you really need some more clear images. If you cannot prove when you give a penalty, and if you cannot prove that wasn't a penalty, then then the ruling will stand, right? So
Sure.
his decision will stand because they cannot find an argument for why there's no penalty there. That's not.
And it was a huge penalty because it meant that Newcastle were able to finish second in the table. It's just the wrong half of the table. We finished second, but managed to finish second, so that's good.
So in my opinion, if he didn't give a penalty and there was VAR on it, he probably would not give a penalty. In my opinion, he would not have given a penalty.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. If he didn't give a penalty, VAR wouldn't have got in. I completely agree. Yeah. Cool.
So that's the main topic, right?
Yeah, thanks for talking us through those. Hopefully not too many to speak of next week when we review the Europa League and the Champions League finals. Let's fingers crossed there's not too many refereeing incidents or VAR incidents. Go for it, John.
Yeah, so obviously with the season coming to a close, I thought it'd be nice to reflect on sort of the season as a whole, both professional in the pro game and in our games as well. So I'm just gonna ask like what your highlights of the season in the professional game was, and then a personal highlight. So for me, the first VAR decision that went over, I'm pretty sure it was Paul Tierney that walked over to the monitor, had a look, and then decided that he was going to stick with his on-field decision. And I thought that was a great, good moment in terms of everyone thought, oh, that's it, he's changed his mind, and it's the first one to turn around, and everyone was like, oh, that's different, and he's stuck up for himself there. And I thought that was the first time we'd seen VAR work the other way around, and I thought that was great. So I wanted to know what your two were.
My highlight from a refereeing perspective in the elite level was Kevin Friend was the referee for Newcastle West Ham, and there was a Craig Dawson was already on a yellow card. He had the ball, miscontrolled it, and then lunged in on one of the Newcastle players, I can't remember who, late recklessly, and was about to get a second yellow and red, but Kevin Friend spotted that Sam Maximan had the ball and was basically, one defender next to him and the goalkeeper, and played a pretty cracking advantage that led to Newcastle scoring, which is kind of unusual, right? Normally, we talk about second yellows or red cards you shouldn't play an advantage from. This was definitely a brave decision because, still Sam Maximan was probably 30 yards out. But this is where knowing the players and knowing the skill set of the players is important too. But that was a great decision in my eyes. Brave, but great decision. And would have been interested in seeing Sam Maximan missing and then what would happen if play continued and Craig Dawson got the ball, because technically that would then need to be stopped and then sent off. But yeah, fantastic decision and great goal. Well, not a great goal. It was a pretty awful own goal, but a good incident for me. Ramon, do you have any refereeing highlights from the season?
So, no, I don't have a favorite one. Instead, I'd rather give a shout out to all the referees. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out if I like VAR or not. But a big shout out to all the referees who, I mean, it's not easy to be there, especially when I saw the Bournemouth and the Brentford game without the VAR. I was thinking, wow, long time ago I've seen a game with no VAR, and it was an intense game, and there was a lot of decisions to be made, right? So yeah, very nice, very good job from all the referees. I hope that they feel like they've done a good job, and for me everything was interesting. All the matches are interesting with VAR and without VAR. It's just more fun without VAR because I don't know, or maybe not, because sometimes it can take too long with the VAR, but no specific highlight, but just a shout out to the referees for doing a great job out there.
No, definitely. I think for those who aren't going to the Euros, they can have a well-earned beer and put their feet up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. Cool. And John, do you have any highlights from your personal refereeing this year?
In a year that's been so sort of like broken up, I feel good that I've managed to be consistent in a broken year. We speak about bandings, we speak about performing well every time, and I'm lucky enough that I get assessed and get graded regularly, and my marks have been good enough to be consistent this year. And we spoke about on the promotion pod that I've done quite well this year, and in such a broken year to stay that consistent for me and enjoy it as well. Like last year I didn't enjoy it that much, or the season, last season I didn't enjoy it that much, and I've sort of enjoyed it a lot more this year, so that's been a highlight for me.
Yeah. Ramon, any highlights for you personally?
Yeah, I had a lot of games. I still have games coming up. I had a game 2 weeks ago. I feel like I did a great job. I like being out there and refereeing. I love it. And after the match, so sometimes if you get an angry parent coming up to you and he's like, and you're thinking, oh no, not again. What do they want now? But so yeah, there was a parent approaching me for my last game, and I was thinking, no. And he came and said, listen, I have only one thing to say. You did an amazing job today. And I was like, oh, thank God. So yeah, I guess that was my biggest highlight. So, but yeah, it's nice to get some good feedback, some positive feedback.
Yeah, brilliant. And my highlight, well, it's not really a highlight yet. It'll be for next season. I've moved from Sussex to Hampshire now, and going to have a whole new experience next year of refereeing in a different county, getting to know different teams and different leagues, and meeting different officials. So that's been that'll be an exciting journey for me next season. So excited by that. So Ramon and John, thanks so much for being a part of this week. We'll do one more next week when we wrap up the Champions League and Europa League, but that will be our final episode of the season.
Playoffs.
So Yeah, exactly. Thanks for everyone who listens and watches. Please don't forget to subscribe. We hope you are enjoying these chats that we have, and we'll see you next week.